Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. You know, I've been watching wrestling for nearly 40 years, and I have forgiven the WWE for doing a lot of really stupid stuff. I even forgave them when they made the Hell in a Cell cage red. It was a really stupid decision, but I forgave it. I got over it. You know, I could even forgive the ridiculous red lighting that they wanted to use during tonight's main event. You know, after I sat with my television and adjusted my red and green tints and my brightness and my contrast, and I got it to a point where I could actually see what the hell is going on, that it was comfortable enough for my eyes that I didn't feel like I was going to have a seizure, I could even forgive that. But I cannot forgive a Hell in a Cell match being ended in a disqualification. And we are here to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, Hell in a Cell 2019 Review and Reaction Show. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Never in my life have I seen something so stupid, something that makes so little sense that it makes me physically ill. Like when the Hell in a Cell match and this pay-per-view ended tonight, I was sweating harder than Shane McMahon. I was so furious. The WWE doesn't even follow their own rules and guidelines. This is the Hell in a Cell. I understand last year we had Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, and that pissed me off as it was because we didn't have a clear, concise winner. We had a double count out in a Hell in a Cell. How do you top being even worse than that? You come to this year's 2019 and a disqualification in a match with no rules, and to make it even stupider, this disqualification came all because of a sledgehammer. The sledgehammer was just too much. Seth Rollins is going under the ring. He's pulling out chairs. He's pulling out ladders. He's using steel toolboxes. All of this is okay. But a sledgehammer, that was just too much. What, are they mad at me? Was that a little slight at the sledgehammer of professional wrestling right here? I don't think so. But how stupid can you be? All of the violence, all of the shit that took place before that, and one little hit with a sledgehammer, that was enough for a referee to forget that they were in a Hell in a Cell match and call for a disqualification. This maybe has been the worst year for referees ever, because the WWE makes these decisions that make their referees look like fucking idiots. How do you get disqualified in a Hell in a Cell match? This is the same match that we see Mick Foley's tooth ripped through the top of his lip, hanging from his fucking nose. Thumbtacks. Men being thrown from the ceiling through tables at the bottom of the friggin' announce team. And the match would continue. No disqualifications. Roman Reigns and Rusev were in there throwing steel stairs at each other, hitting each other with big, thick-ass steel chains, and a ball gag in his mouth. How do you disqualify somebody in a Hell in a Cell match? Especially a match with this much anticipation, this much build. If you weren't going to give Bray Wyatt the championship on this night, then why did you book this match? To make Seth Rollins look like a bigger idiot than he is? I don't understand. Everybody gets on Kofi Kingston's case. Oh, Kofi Kingston's one of the worst champions. Kofi Kingston's a boring champion. Well, what's your description of Seth Rollins then? The biggest dweeb I've ever seen hold the WWE champion, Universal Championship, any championship belt. The guy doesn't look like a champion. The guy doesn't act like a champion. He can't act worth a shit. He can do moves. Great. There's a lot of guys on the roster that can do some pretty good moves. If you have no character, and you can't sell fear, and you can't sell frustration, and you can't show a range of emotion in your face, then you definitely shouldn't be at the top of the card. How stale and boring has Seth Rollins become? He's as bad at being a babyface as The Miz. Turn Seth Rollins back into a villain so at least I can stomach him when he opens his mouth. and has a match. Then on the opposite side, you have the Fiend. The hottest thing in wrestling today. I don't want to hear, oh, well, they're holding it out. They're going to try to make it sweeter. They want you to hang on and wait. They're going to give you a big moment. You need to be patient. Get the hell out of here, man. Be patient for what? This is the type of shit that they did to Bray Wyatt the first time. He came out of nowhere with the Wyatt family. He had this new, cool, different gimmick. The crowd was into it. The fireflies were everywhere. They were raising hell all over the WWE. They were taking out the Shield. They were taking out everybody. Then they put Bray Wyatt for a chance at the championship against John Cena, and he lost. He didn't get the championship. And now it has taken him all these years to get back to some sort of relevancy, and you put him in the prime spot. You got everybody in Sacramento waiting for the coronation of the Fiend. You got everybody sitting at home waiting for him to walk away with that title, because there's no way that they would be stupid enough to not make this move. You have to take the championship off the lame duck and put it on the guy that's hot as fucking fire right now. Strike while the iron is hot. Now is the time. You got all this stuff being new, right? You got the new Raw, you got the new SmackDown. This is the time to make these changes. This is the time to do something different. And you didn't do the most obvious, simplest thing to make the fans happy. Why do you hate the fans? This is not the time to be fucking with the fans. They will turn on you quicker than you can snap your fingers. Especially now that there's somewhere else to turn to. They might not be the best, but they'll be better than this shit. They're not going to end steel cage matches in disqualifications. They're going to adhere to their rules. They're not going to insult the intelligence of their audience by doing stupid shit like this. Unforgivable. Anything that they could have done after the referee called for the bell was all for nothing. AEW chants rained down from the rafters. The boos wouldn't stop. Restart match. Restart match. At the top of their lungs, this crowd was screaming for it. That's how this show went off the air. With the Fiend standing tall, without the championship, and the crowd and all of us at home absolutely furious. Oh, well, we're going to get him talking. No, you're going to get us angry. You're going to make us not watch. You know, this entire review, before the main event happened, was going a completely different direction. Not that it was going in a positive direction. We're still going to talk about all the other shit that pissed me off. But this takes precedent. Because this is the most ass-backwards maneuver I've ever seen. How you can give Seth Rollins the championship still after being in a Hell in a Cell with the Fiend, how he's even still living and breathing and surviving is beyond me. It just doesn't make sense. Do they not know what they have in the Fiend? Do they not realize how bad Seth Rollins is at the top of the card right now? Do they not know? This was a fucking slam dunk. This was a slam dunk off the top of a ladder. They got the ladder set up underneath the hoop for you so you could just climb up the steps and go, boom. Hey, look, I made a slam dunk. It was that easy. It was that easy. Seth DQ'd for a sledgehammer. AEW chants. Well deserved, you fucking idiots. You deserve everything you get tonight. And it's not a matter of, oh, well, they're trying to shock the fans. They're trying to do something different. How is this different? The only thing that's shocking is how shockingly stupid this company is. I don't understand it. This is the biggest problem. This is their biggest problem. They fail to do things at the proper time. They will not strike when the time is right. And now, Nobody, is anybody going to care? Has the luster faded somewhat? Because now when The Fiend eventually gets to the championship match again, we're all going to just be like, yay, great, finally. Don't tell me they tried to sweeten shit for us. This was just their way to protect Seth Rollins and not do any damage to The Fiend by giving him a loss. But if you want to ask me, the way that they booked him was just as bad. You need to understand, I have no way to gauge just how powerful The Fiend is. Let's think about this for a second. Seth Rollins defeats Brock Lesnar. The Beast, Brock Lesnar, the guy that's beaten The Undertaker, you know, his whole shtick. And it took him 3 curb stomps to do so on 2 separate occasions. The Fiend was hit by like 19 curb stomps tonight. And like we said, steel chairs, toolboxes, ladders, sledgehammers, all kinds of shit. He's kicking out at 1. And then at the very end when the ref stops everything, the ref stops the match, and then Bray Wyatt springs to life like The Undertaker. What, were you laying there playing possum while the referee's calling the match? You didn't get up and stop the referee? No, wait, chill out, dude, I'm fine, I got this. Where is the logic? It doesn't matter where they go from here, they've ruined it. They've ruined it. I don't understand it. It's bad enough that I came home today from work and I sat down to this show. And by 2 p.m. this afternoon when I checked at WWE.com, there were still only 4 matches listed for this piece of shit pay-per-view. There were the 4 matches that they've been hyping for the last 2 weeks. And there were no other matches. And then I sit down to this card and I find out that there's a bunch of matches that have been added that are essentially nothing more than rematches of things that actually have some sort of story behind it, even if the story isn't recent. Much in the case like Randy Orton versus Ali, which was booked tonight, and I'm trying to figure out why. It was unnecessary. It wasn't needed, and outside of the finish of the match, nothing cool happened. So why are we seeing that? Lacey Evans versus Natalya on the kickoff show. Why are we seeing this? So that they can have a post-match segment that could lead them to wrestle again for the 17th time tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw in a last woman standing match, like any of us give a shit about that. The Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Again. You got the Viking Warrior Raiders versus the OC with a mystery partner. All rematches. Capped off with Corbin versus Gable Part 3, which was made infinitely more nauseating with the whole Shorty gimmick. And now Chad Gable's gonna I'm gonna take that name and I'm gonna own it. You can call me Shorty Gable. Shorty Gable? Does he know what a shorty is? Shorty is no longer just a term that people will use in a derogatory manner towards a tiny person. A shorty is another word you call for your boo. Right? That's my shorty over there. That's what you want to be? You want to be everybody's little shorty? Chad fucking Gable. Shorty Gable. Yeah, this is good. This is going to get over. This is going to teach kids to take the nicknames that bullies give them and use it against them by making it their permanent nickname. It'll be like somebody, when I was growing up, I was a big kid. I wasn't always, this handsome. I was a little fat Pudge kid. And if somebody called me Pudge, I'm not going to turn around and own that. Yeah, everybody call me Pudge. You can call me Chubbs. My name is Chunk. No, man. It's fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. Just seemed to me that they were so worried about Friday Night SmackDown that they forgot that they even had Hell in a Cell on Sunday. Because if they were smart, they wouldn't have gave us matches like Corbin versus Gable again, and they wouldn't have gave us the Viking Warriors versus the OC and any of that unnecessary nonsense, Randy versus Ali. What they would have done is taken the 2 or 3 big things they did on SmackDown on Friday and moved them to the Hell in a Cell card. You could have had Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship, and you could have had Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon with a ladder match at Hell in a Cell, and those two matches were good enough on Friday Night SmackDown that if they were inserted on this card, this might have been one of the better cards up until the end of the show. Well, why would you do that? You can't have Kofi Kingston not beat Brock Lesnar and everybody's going to shit on that idea, right? But let me explain it to you and show you that a guy like me could come up with excellent wrestling. Could come up with excellent wrestling and still give you the same fucking result. Vince McMahon comes to me and says, "Listen, Jack, in the next 72 hours we need to get Cain Velasquez to debut and we need Brock Lesnar to be his opponent, and we want you to use Rey Mysterio to get him in there." No problem, boss. Check this shit out. We're going to have Brock Lesnar fight Kofi Kingston on Friday Night SmackDown, just the way you want. But we're going to open the show with Brock Lesnar attacking Rey Mysterio and Dominic, just like you want, sir. And then at the end of the show, we're going to have Kofi Kingston retain the championship because Rey Mysterio is going to come out and cost Brock Lesnar the match because of what he did to his son. This is going to fire up Brock Lesnar to demand a rematch at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view only 2 days away. That will happen, and then Brock Lesnar will destroy Kofi Kingston, but we're not going to disrespect Kofi Kingston. You'll give Kofi Kingston a little bit of offense, give him a little bit of a respectful way out, and then Brock Lesnar will win the championship. He will go then and attack Dominic, who will be sitting ringside, which will lead Rey Mysterio to come out from the back with Cain Velasquez. And then you can have Michael Cole go, "Oh my God, that's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane!" Just like you did at the first Hell in a Cell. And everything comes full circle, and what a fucking beautiful idea that is. And as much as I hate Cain Velasquez being inserted in the main event picture, there is a beautifully painted fucking cascade of colors that would have made everything much better and made sense. And you still could have had it all, Vince. But 10, 15 years ago, that's how you would have done things. Now everything's just rush, rush, rush. And then you get to Hell in a Cell Sunday with 4 matches on the card. And you go, shit, what do we do? Let's hit the repeat button for the rest of the fucking show. And there is my little salvo to you guys just to prove that I know what I'm talking about. So when I tell you that what they did with the Fiend was absolute bullshit and that they could have done a million better things to do, just in that opening example with Brock Lesnar and Kofi Kingston and how it should have went down this weekend, you have to know that I have a better mind for wrestling than Mr. McMahon at this point. Because he's not thinking clearly. He's got to go. And at some point, the WWE Board of Directors has got to look at this thing and go, "Did you hear the fans tonight? They were really pissed off. Where do you think your money comes from?" Somebody's got to take a stand. We are nearly 20 minutes into this review, and I haven't said one nice thing about this show. And it does have a couple of things that we can be positive about. And let's focus on that before I end up popping, or splopping a blood vessel, however you want to say it. Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch opened this show in the Hell in a Cell, and it is the only Hell in a Cell worth watching on this pay-per-view, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was an amazing matchup put on between these two girls. Sasha Banks, welcome back. She definitely made the most of her time away from the WWE. She got herself back in tip-top condition. We haven't been able to see Sasha Banks like this until this night. This is the real true Sasha Banks. She went out there for a fight. She was tough as nails. Becky Lynch, you could say the very same thing about. These two girls were throwing bones at each other. They were taking crazy risks and crazy shots to the point where I was like, there is no way anybody, even the Hell in a Cell with Bray and Seth at the top of this show, is going to have a hard time competing with how tough and how good these girls are performing right now. They were doing things with chairs. They were doing things with ladders. One of the most impressive spots of the night, Becky Lynch set up a chair upright in the corner, balanced on some kendo sticks, propped Sasha Banks up on it, and then delivered a dropkick off the apron into the corner of the Hell in a Cell. Very innovative, very different. Lots of cool stuff like that went on in this match. It was really, really, really good. The only thing I was not happy about was the fact that Becky Lynch wins this matchup. I was preferential to Sasha Banks staying on Monday Night Raw and not going to SmackDown Live. And a lot of you guys might think I'm crazy, but by the time we finish this review, you'll understand why that is. And I was hoping she was going to take the title from Becky Lynch on this night. That is not going to be the case. Most likely when we get to SmackDown next week and we start the draft, Sasha Banks will end up on the blue brand, probably showing why she dyed her hair blue in the first place, which was probably going to be just a little foreshadowing by her. But that match, really the only thing to go back and watch. If you missed Hell in a Cell, go watch Sasha and Becky tear it down in that ridiculous-looking red rope licorice cell for almost 20-25 minutes. It is far superior to Sasha's previous match in the Hell in a Cell with Charlotte Flair. This match was fantastic. Props to both girls. Definitely stole the show right from the onset. After this, we had Rowan and Harper versus Roman and Daniel Bryan. They changed this match to a Tornado Tag Team match, which was a great decision because it made for a lot of very cool spots and a lot of ridiculous type action. We had some cool stuff happening here as well. We had Roman doing the running spear across the two announce tables, exploding the third one with the body of Rowan. We had Eric Rowan ripping the barricade clear out of the floor and then using it as a weapon and demolishing Roman with it. Daniel Bryan was all over the place. Luke Harper was all over the place. This was a very intense, kind of fun match at times. I just kind of struggled to find a reason to care. And to me, I was just waiting for this match to finish so we can get to the shenanigans, right? We want to get to see what Daniel Bryan's going to do when all is said and done. Is he the mastermind between Luke Harper and Rowan's new formed team? Is this a whole big schmoz? Is Roman Reigns going to turn on Daniel Bryan? Is something going to happen? Do you know what happened? They hugged. Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns hugged it out after they beat down the Bludgeon Brothers or the former Wyatt family or Harper and Rowan or whatever it is we're calling them now. And that was it. Talk about underwhelming. As decent as this match was, they definitely didn't give it any sort of an exclamation point or any type of reason for even happening. Roman now has even more revenge. He beat Eric Rowan on SmackDown just 2 nights ago, and now they beat this tag team together with Daniel Bryan. So, what's the point? What's the point? Are they going to come back out next week and start hunting Roman again? It's going to be Roman season? After they lost? I'm done with it before it even begins. Randy Orton versus Ali. Absolutely no reason at all for this to be happening. No explanation as to why it's happening. It's just Randy Orton is on Team Hogan, and Randy Orton's on Team Flair, and I guess Ali's going to be on Team Hogan. I guess that's the extent of the reason why this is happening. At the very least, they did make mention of the fact that Ali and Randy Orton was a match that happened prior to WrestleMania 30, which was where Ali got hurt and ended up being taken out of consideration for all of the things that were happening going into WrestleMania season last year. So there is that, but that's not been talked about or really touched upon in months. But apparently that's enough of a backstory to get a match on tonight's Hell in a Cell card. And that you're in this stupid match at Crown Jewel. Randy Orton playing with Ali for the most part. One really cool thing happened in this matchup which made me laugh out loud, actually. Ali caught himself in the RKO and actually found a way to reverse it, which is something that we do not often see. We see people push out of the RKO, but Randy Orton delivered and executed the RKO, and at the last minute, Ali did a handstand, extending his arms, stopping his head from creating any sort of impact, and it caught Randy Orton by surprise, and then Ali got Randy Orton in a crucifix roll-up, almost stealing this matchup. He then went to the outside, went to do some sort of a rolling thing, and ended up tasting the RKO. Anyway, Randy Orton giving him a little bit of props, a little bit of respect, but at the end of the day, this match was unnecessary. It wasn't needed, and it did nothing for either of these guys. Randy Orton doesn't look better for beating the newcomer Ali, and Ali looks like he's back on his losing track when he was going so far up. And now they just got him going back down and looking up at the lights for anybody they decide on this night. And it's ridiculous. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defended the Women's Championship of the Tag Team Division tonight, but were not successful as Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, finally win the Women's Tag Team Championship. Couple of things to take out of this matchup. Alexa Bliss probably wrestled more in this one match than she has every single other match the whole year long combined. If you take all of the time she's already been in the ring and mash it up, I'm pretty sure this match beats out all those other matches. Alexa Bliss actually worked tonight. And that was probably the most shocking thing about this whole entire matchup until Asuka decides to break out the old green mist. Something we're all accustomed to seeing from the great Muta and from Tajiri and some of the greats. Asuka has used this previously in her career, never so much before in the WWE, but finally has brought it in to her repertoire, coming out of nowhere, spitting right in the face of Nikki Cross, who would fall victim and then end up falling in defeat as Asuka would get the pin, and we have new women's tag team champions. And you just have to wonder if the only reason this is happening is due to the reports that I've seen floating on throughout the weekend of Asuka and Kairi asking to be sent back home to NXT. Much like we've seen Tyler Breeze and Finn Balor do, people want to go back to where they know they will be able to wrestle. And after we hear these rumors and these supposed stories, we see the Kabuki Warriors winning tag team gold. The timing just seems a little bit off. The OC versus the Viking Warrior Raiders, and the mystery opponent was revealed to be Braun Strowman. And now I really don't give a shit. I don't know who thought this match was a good idea. This match was a joke. This match was a waste of everybody's time. It did nothing for anybody involved. It is just another step on the ladder of the embarrassment of the OC and AJ Styles and Gallows and Anderson. And it's further proof that the WWE is continuing to turn Braun Strowman into the Big Show 2.0. I mentioned this on Friday's review, and it continues and proves to be true even more so on this night, because now they got Braun Strowman delivering haymaker right hands, KO punches. Who else does that? Well, it's the Braun Show. He knocks out AJ Styles. Knocked him clear out. And AJ Styles, bless his heart, he sold this as if he was Sylvester the Cat from Looney Tunes, man. Or Wile E. Coyote getting that freaking anvil dropped on his head. Or the lion from Looney Tunes. Remember the lion? How many lumps do you want? Boom, boom. And then Bugs would like slam his head 1,000,000 times with the sledgehammer. Big dopey idiots surrounded by him. And now he's I'm Braun. Fucking AJ looked like an idiot. The OC continues their losing ways. They were brought back together to continue to job out to everybody. Even though AJ Styles is the United States champion, that's not a shield of protection for him. It's only something to make them want him to lose even more, apparently. No respect. All of this was nothing more than a lead-in to tomorrow when Tyson Fury, the lineal boxing champion, what the hell does that mean? You know, when I was a kid growing up watching boxing, there was the world champion, there was the welterweight champion, the featherweight champion, there was the UK champion, there was all kinds of fucking champions. I never heard of a lineal champion. And that's because I haven't watched boxing in fucking years. Much like the rest of the free world. Who watches boxing anymore? What the hell is a lineal champion? What do they have? An obtuse champion as well? A parallel champion? Perpendicular champion? An angular champion? Gives a shit about Tyson Fury and the Braun Show. Not me, obviously. Chad Gable versus King Corbin 3. Another copy-paste match. It was okay at times. They have great chemistry, these two, and this match was nothing more than anything that we have seen from them already. Mildly entertaining. Very repetitive. If you want to go back and watch the other matches, you pretty much have seen the same thing. But the Shorty Gable thing, that's the thing to take away from this thing. Corey Graves overselling it. Calling him Shorty like 300 times in one sentence. Michael Cole getting pissed off at Corey Graves for using it. He got pissed off at Tony Chimmel or whoever the fuck the ring announcer is nowadays, announcing when Chad Gable got the victory, the winner, Shorty Gable. You gotta be kidding me, man. This is fucking stupid. And even though Chad Gable gets the win and looks like he's not a slouch, they gave him this ridiculous name. What's wrong with Chad? Chad is bad enough. Like Chad. It's a terrible name, really. I'm sorry if your name is Chad, I apologize. It sounds like a sound effect. Chad. But then they changed it to Shorty? Chad's not that bad. I'd rather be Chad than Shorty. Charlotte versus Bayley. Very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. And at the end of the day, all this is to show you guys the reason why I didn't want Sasha Banks to go to SmackDown Live. Because Bayley now lost to Charlotte. Charlotte is now a 10-time champion. She will be the champion of SmackDown Live when Sasha Banks gets drafted to the Blue Brand. And now we are going to go back down this road of Charlotte versus Sasha for the championship of SmackDown. But it's different because it's not on Raw. Is that what their terminology is? Is that how they're thinking of it? Well, it'll be new. It'll be different because it'll be on the Blue Brand. And the Blue Brand's not even on USA anymore. It's going to be on Fox now. That was on SmackDown Live. If they fought before it was SmackDown Live, it wasn't Friday Night SmackDown. So everything's new, and first time ever. It'll be Charlotte versus Sasha for the first time on SmackDown Live. And then they'll do it 15 times in the next 2 months. And they'll hot potato the title back and forth. And by the time it's all said and done, Sasha will have 15 championship reigns. Charlotte will have 20 championship reigns, and nobody will still give a shit about the women's division. Because they're just going backwards to do the same old shit over and over again. Mark my words. So was I pulling for Charlotte here? No. I was pulling for Bayley. Because now, if Bayley's the champion and Sasha goes back to SmackDown, they can go down that road we all need them to go down and do something different and break these two apart. They have fantastic chemistry in the ring. They want to wrestle each other. I guarantee you they do. And Sasha versus Bayley would be a much more intriguing program than seeing a rehashed Sasha versus Charlotte for a second time. No thank you. And then you got Bayley at the end sitting there crying. Why does this always happen to me? Because you're the least important member of the Four Horsewomen, that's why. Fucking ridiculous. And then, of course, after the Women's Championship, we had the main event. Seth Rollins versus The Fiend, which turned into an absolute debacle, a shit show, a slap in the face to every single fan in attendance and watching on the network all night long. It was bad enough that my network was giving me problems as it is. If you were following me on Twitter, you've seen that I posted, oh, this is a great way to watch Hell in a Cell. Because at one point I just had a black screen and I was hearing the audio and it was just playing over a black screen. I had to shut off my machine, restart it from the beginning, and then I got the picture back, but every so often I was freezing, it was lagging, it was jumping ahead and skipping back on me. If anybody else was experiencing any of that, let me know, because I like to know that I wasn't alone when stupid shit like that happens. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your Hell in a Cell review. I know I was very long-winded in the beginning, but you have to understand something. When they insult me to that level, there is nowhere they can run. And there is nothing that I'm not going to say. Because they're at this point, they're just fucking with us. Don't you feel that? They're going to book this match we want. They're going to make us believe. They're going to go in a different direction. And then they're going to do something like this. You know, if they wanted to do something interesting, and they wanted to keep the belt on Seth Rollins, it would have been very easy for them to have maybe say, The Undertaker rise up from beneath and get involved before the match is over, taking the Fiend down into the depths. leaving Seth Rollins with his stupid face, struggling to look like he's surprised. And then everybody would be like, oh man, The Undertaker just fucking swallowed Bray Wyatt whole? Like, what is going on? But no, instead you take the lazy way out, you break all your own rules, you insult the integrity of the Hell in a Cell for the second year in a row, and why should we give a shit about it anymore? At this point, unless the girls are going into Hell in a Cell, you can keep it in the fucking warehouse back in Stamford. Because we don't need it if you're not going to use it right. That's it. That's it. I'm pissed off as all hell and I can't take anymore. That is your Hell in a Cell review and reaction show for 2019. Don't forget to keep it locked in here all week long. This was a real shitty way to end what was a pretty exciting week. We had some really good shows, we had some really bad shows, and for them to end it with this was a real fucked up thing for the WWE to do to us. But don't forget to be here with us all week long, because you can bet your ass the hammer is coming down on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night, especially since I already know we're getting a repeat match from Lacey Evans and Charlotte for the 1700th time, and we are going to see Braun Strowman face off with Tyson Fury for some godforsaken reason, and that's just going to be the very beginning. You know, this Hell in a Cell was very much like Monday Night Raw, which is probably why I hate it so much. Because we only knew about the 4 main matches and then the rest of the show just kind of happened. The 24/7 I don't give a shit Avocado Championship was on this show. It went to Tamina and then it went back to R-Truth. Do you care? Because if you were upset that I missed it, there you go. Now we truly are finished with everything that happened tonight. Nothing at all that mattered. But be here for tomorrow's Monday Night Raw review. We will be here Thursday night. Pay attention. Thursday night for the AEW versus NXT Wednesday Night War review, followed by Friday Night SmackDown Friday evening. Next weekend there will be no pay-per-view, but we will try to put something up for you. Maybe we will bring a few episodes of the Sledgehammer short series to the channel, and also to our new sister channel, the Sledgehammer, which you could check out on YouTube right now. There is a video up for you guys to watch right now as we try to get as many subscribers there as possible. But this is the home station, this is the main channel, and this is where I know most of your allegiances lie. If you like art and you like to watch speed drawing, you can go check out the Sledgehammer. If you love my reviews and my point of views on pro wrestling, and you love people that don't treat you like an idiot and let you know how it is, then Sledgehammer TV is the place to be when you want your wrestling news bullshit free and full of fun and entertainment and a lot of swinging of the hammer. And we are here to have a good time. As always, make sure if you did have a good time, you smash that thumbs up, you share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they were as infuriated at the ending of this show as I was. And do not forget, as always, to leave a comment, let me know what you thought about, and subscribe. Get us over that 2,000 subscriber mark before the release of WWE 2K20, and maybe we will do a My Career mode for you guys, or something special with 2K20, but we have to hit 2K ourselves in order for that to happen. I need you guys to join the Sledgehead Army right now. Hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing as the wrestling weeks continue to roll on. This was an exhausting week, and I've only just now realized that the week and the schedule now makes this almost never ending. So where we used to get a break here and there, we are just going to keep rolling out with you, and I thank you all for being here with me through everything as we continue to take over YouTube one subscriber at a time. My name, ladies and gentlemen, is Nick Nightmare. This is the team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball. The most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you. That is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, your Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Damn it!